Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the JEL channel. Don't forget that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my uploads. And as always, let's jump right in. How's it going, everyone? We are back with our second official video on this channel. And today I really wanted to talk about an issue that is really taking over our society currently, which is the phrase, "It's just a joke," or otherwise known as disparagement humor. And in case you don't know what disparagement humor is, it is a kind of humor that denigrates, belittles an individual or a social group. And the reason why I decided to make this video with this specific topic is because I started hearing these kinds of jokes everywhere. I've been the victim of these, and I've also seen it happen multiple times. And frankly, I don't even know I'm still calling these jokes. If you just hear them, they're the most out-of-pocket, hateful, racist things you'll ever hear, and people just add on "it's just a joke" at the end just to make it seem less harmful. And today we're going to explore how these jokes are actually really harmful to people that they're saying them to, and to society and people that are hearing these jokes, and making it seem that it is normalized.
Did you catch what happened when Trump called to congratulate the U.S. men's hockey team on their Olympic gold medal? He joked that he'd better invite the women's team to the White House too, adding, "or else I might get impeached." Some players laughed. Well, psychologists call this disparagement humor, jokes that make a marginalized group the punchline. And it's not harmless. Research shows that when someone tells a denigrating joke, it signals that prejudice is acceptable. Then, people who might normally conceal their bias feel more empowered to express it. In other words, off-color jokes don't just reflect discrimination, they help normalize it. So, the next time someone makes a joke at the expense of a marginalized group, let's choose not to reward it with laughter.
Going a bit further on the negative impact that these jokes have on people that are exposed to them, here, this is a study called "More Than Just a Joke, the Prejudice Releasing Function of Sexist Humor" from PubMed, NIH, National Library of Medicine. This study says the results of two experiments supported the hypothesis that for sexist men, exposure to sexist humor can promote the behavioral release of prejudice against women. Experiment 1 demonstrated that hostile sexism predicted the amount of money participants were willing to donate to a women's organization after reading sexist jokes, but not after reading non-humorous sexist statements or neutral jokes. Experiment 2 showed that hostile sexism predicted the amount of money participants cut from the budget of a women's organization relative to 4 other student organizations upon exposure to sexist comedy skits, but not neutral comedy skits. A perceived local norm of approval of funding cuts for the women's organization mediated the relationship between hostile sexism and discrimination against the women's organization. And to sum up what the study does, basically, researchers actually tested the impact of disparagement humor by looking at how people spend money. In this study, men who already held biased views were asked to allocate budget funds to a women's organization. If they were exposed to serious, flat-out prejudice statements, they didn't change their behavior. But if they were exposed to comedy skits and jokes targeting women, such as memes, they immediately sliced funding to the organization, which really shows how harmful these jokes are, because they really do normalize hate and prejudice, which have real-world impacts on many people. The second thing I wanted to show you is, this is an article called "Hate as an Entertainment, Youth Finding Community and Nihilistic Online Anti-Semitism Warns ADO." And in this, they show that last month, 2 U.S. teenage gunmen opened fire at an Islamic center in San Diego, California, murdering 3 men outside the mosque. The 2 suspects, Caleb Vasquez, 18, and Kane Clark, 17, fled the scene and got into a white BMW. They placed a camera used to live stream the attack on the car's dashboard. Investigators found that the 2 teenagers had met and radicalized online, where they glorified terrorists and shared white supremacist hatred towards Jews, Muslims, and the LGBTQ community, women, black people, and both the political left and right. The attack and other recent shootings illustrate the dangers and allure of nihilistic online violence and hatred. The phenomenon is growing in the dark corners of the internet that bring together a hodgepodge of hatred and conspiracies. Lacking any single ideology, it is saturated with anti-Semitism. And it is really heartbreaking and tragic how these jokes helped with this event, as they really normalized the type of hate that was used to carry out this attack.
It's just a joke, except for the fact that it's really not. A joke is supposed to be something you can forget, not a sentence you think about on the dot. Jokes are meant to be funny, but that one made my nose runny. Making fun of someone's appearance isn't just a joke, especially if it's a joke about how they're broke. So many people use "it's just a joke" as an excuse, but they don't know the outcome of it. They just don't know how to quit. They don't know that that joke stays in their mind as they sit. They don't realize how much that joke hurts you bit by bit. It wasn't just a joke. Admit it. It's just a joke.
And it's really crazy to me how the people that make these jokes really don't realize the impact and harm that these quote-unquote jokes have on people. And they don't realize how these jokes, the impact of them will last and hurt the person for a while, much longer than the people making the jokes would realize. And the same situation happened to me. So a little bit of a story time about myself. At my school, I had a few friends who randomly decided one day that they were just going to make a whole bunch of anti-Semitic jokes to me. As I said in my last video, I'm Jewish. It's a very big part of my identity. And they just started making these jokes in class. And just because they thought it was really funny, and they never realized that this really made me upset. And it kind of stuck with me for a while. Like, before, I wanted to be friends with these people, and we were friends, but now I don't really feel the same about them because I know how little they value my identity and what's really important to me.
I will never understand that group of people, and you know exactly who I'm talking about, who tries to justify bad behavior by saying, "It was just a joke, it was just a word." Because whenever I hear that, it just shows me that the person saying that is not even trying to use their brain. First of all, jokes are supposed to be funny. So if people aren't laughing at them, then best case for whoever told the quote-unquote joke, it was a really bad one that nobody liked, so nothing is absolved by pointing out it was just a joke.
Exactly, the same people that say it's just a joke. Where is the joke? What is the joke supposed to be? Because when people say anti-Semitic stuff to me, I've been called like a genocide supporter for no reason. I don't even support I don't like the Israeli government, and it's like, ha, you like the mass killing of a whole bunch of group of people just because of their identity. Like, where's the joke in that?
But at least that last group of people, stupid as they may be, at least they're trying to defend themselves by saying it was a joke, and in doing that, they concede that if it wasn't a joke, then it would be wrong. The people who go, "Oh, it's just a word," whenever their favorite creator gets exposed for dropping slurs, these have to be some of the dumbest, most airheaded, brain-dead people you can ever have the displeasure of interacting with. Who cares if he dropped the N-word 5 times in a row and while he looked directly into the camera? It's just a word. How can you get canceled or have your career ended over a word? Newsflash, dipshit, words have meaning. You can get fired for using a word the same way you can get fired for using a sentence. Because words and sentences have meaning. And if what you're saying is something you know you're not supposed to be saying, there are going to be consequences. Freedom of speech has never meant freedom of consequences. As many times as that has been repeated, I figured it would be common sense. But there's a certain group of people, you know what I'm talking about. It's just baffling to me, the way some people think sometimes, man.
Bro, it's just crazy to me how brain dead a lot of these people are. And the funny thing about this is, right, a lot of these people are the biggest hypocrites of all time. They'll say all of this crazy, just crazy, harmful, hateful things, and then as soon as somebody says the littlest thing about something to do with them, they act like the universe is destroyed. They'll say, "Oh, it's just a word, it's just a joke, it shouldn't mean anything," but as soon as somebody says something to them, it's maybe not even that bad, they're all offended at everything. It's just so crazy to me, man.
In my own personal opinion, what I find off-putting that black people say is when they say, "Oh, we can't be friends," or "Oh, that's how you know our friendship is good," when we can make racist jokes to each other. That is one thing I do not condone.
People justifying saying hateful stuff to each other as just being friends, and because they're friends it's okay for them to say it, is the weirdest thing in my opinion. I see people doing this all the time at my school, and it just makes no sense to me. Like people, like if they're friends with like an Indian person, they'll like all the time say, "Oh, you need to take a shower." It's like, okay, it's okay, guys. We're friends, so it's okay for me to say it. No, it's not. It's never okay to say this type of stuff to people. Oh my god, bro. And this has also personally happened to me, where when somebody's saying really hateful stuff about me, another person was like, "Yo, what are you saying?" It's like, it's okay, we're friends, so I'm allowed to say it. When have I ever said you were allowed to say anything bad about me? Like, number one, you shouldn't do it. If somebody said, "Oh, it's okay to say racist and hateful things about me," you shouldn't do it in the first place. But number two, I never said you could do that. It just, oh my. Some people, man, I can't.
Like, you have zero fucking chances with me to say a racist joke to me. Because I would never, ever fix my mouth to say something racist as a joke to you. And I will never be the butt end of your fucking joke. You have zero chances to say that shit in front of me, and you definitely have zero chances to say that shit in front of other people. I will cut your ass off in front of your face if you say something racist to me. I don't want to hear no fucking jokes about slavery, anything regarding race whatsoever, because I would never fix my mouth to say something like that about any race.
And adding on to that, never be afraid to cut somebody off or end a relationship in any type of way if they say these kind of things to you. Because when they say that, it's clear that they don't value your identity and what's important to you. So don't be afraid to cut these people off if they do this stuff with you.
You can make jokes about your own race. I can make jokes about my own race. If you make jokes about your race, I'm gonna be like, haha, you said it, not me. And that's it. And I'm not even gonna piggyback off of your goddamn joke. I just won't. I don't do that shit. I find that shit so disrespectful. That shows me how little you value me and how little you value our friendship. If you have the gall to say that, who knows what the fuck you're saying in my absence? You might be like, damn, bro, like, where is all this energy coming from? The other day at work, mind you, I work at a place where I work with a lot of Hispanics, right? Like, when I say a lot, it's like 10 to 1, a ratio of like Hispanics and blacks. I knew what I was getting myself into. I don't care. I like diversity. I can work with anybody. I don't give a shit. The other day, one of my Hispanic coworkers said, he grabbed one of our linen towels and he whipped one of our black coworkers and had the fucking nerve to say, "Does this remind you of the old days?" I looked at my coworker and I was like, okay, he's not gonna say nothing. Okay, for sure. You might be like, "Oh, that's maybe just how we joke. This is how we joke." I don't fucking joke with that shit. And it's like, oh, well, your coworker can stand up for himself. But I'm thinking in my head, if it's 10 to 1, do you know how scary that might be to sit up there and go against the grain and stand up for yourself, cause some friction, make some fucking waves?
And the sad thing about this is, right, the people that are the victim of a lot of these attacks and jokes, it's really hard for them to try to report the people who did this if it's at a school type setting, because if it's a situation like mine, the people that are making these might have a somewhat of a personal friendship relationship with them, and they might be fearful that they can get their friends in trouble and that could be bad. Or if, in another case, if they're like the only black kid or the only Jewish kid at school, they might fear that everybody might gang up on them.
Oh boy, probably just like, you know what? I ain't got nobody up in this bitch to back me up. You know, I can't even say nothing because now it's going the tension is gonna be weird. The air is gonna be weird. For sure, I understand that, bro. If that's how you feel, that's how you fucking feel. All I know is if that coworker ever fucking says some shit to me, he has that one chance, and I'm cutting that shit off.
Anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This was a topic I really wanted to discuss because it was something I felt was becoming more prevalent in our society and something that I started seeing more and more. And just to remember, number one, don't say these kind of jokes. They're not cool and they have like a lot of effects as we discussed. And number two, if you see any of these jokes being made, don't forget to stand up to them. Come on. You can do it. That's the only way this type of stuff gets better. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.